Alright, so using the basic extrude tool, I've kind of roughed out the tail up through right before the mouth begins. So now we're going to take a look at a couple of other tools. And in the process, we're going to see how we can model the upper and lower jaw. So if you recall, we had put the smart toolbar on our dock, and you'll see there's SMT. So I'm going to click on that until I see the menu on the right hand side for that new toolbar that appears in Maya. I'm just going to zoom in because I need to have a split here. There's the back of the mouth, there's the top, and then there's the inside here, the bottom jaw. So I'm going to click on this thing called the multi-cut tool over here. It's got a little scissor icon. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to rough in some lines to extrude from. So when you work in Maya, you don't want lines to not butt up against an intersection. So that bottom line translates to, I'm going to click on my geometry, and I'm going to click where these lines converge. And I'm going to go down, and I may go to my orthographic view at this point. I'm just going to roughly put it here. I'll go back to my perspective view, and I'm simply going to go back across the front of these faces now. And then I'm going to come around, and then I'll click here and hit return. Now once again, I'm going to move my template just so we can get a better view of this. So I'm going to go to my layer window. In fact, maybe I'll just turn it off for a moment. And you can see now that I've split evenly across here, intersecting these lines and coming back to here. And we want to do something similar for the lower jaw. So once again, I'm going to turn on the template for reference. I will go and get my smart tools, click twice on it on the dock, and here's my multi-cut again with a little scissor. And now I'm going to start, and I'm going to go across down lower here, but I'm going to start at this point. Again, I want these things all to intersect so that we don't have any kind of odd shapes and creases in our geometry. And then I'll go to here, and I'll go to here, and I'll hit return to set the new line. Oh, okay, so I guess my template was a little in the way there, so I think I'll turn it off for a minute. And once again, I'll get my multi-cut tool, I'll click there, there, and hit return. Okay. Oops, okay, Command Z. All right. Let's see, so let's try that. All right, so now I'm going to take my multi-cut and I'll put reference for the lower jaw. So I'll click here. And then I'll click right about here. I'm going to come across. And then back down to here and hit return. So you can see it's pretty much a symmetrical line as well. All right, so I'll hit W to get back to my move tool. Now, we're going to have to do a little bit more back in this area, but this will get us started in our extrude for our jaws. So I'm going to put the template back on. And I'm going to start by extruding the top jaw. So I'll right click, I'll choose face, shift select the two top faces here. You can see this is where the opening will be. And I'm going to click on my extrude tool. And now I'm going to go to my orthographic front view again to kind of rough this in as I go. So I'm going to click and drag this, and I'm going to go about halfway between where the forehead starts to drop. And I'm going to get my scale tool, and maybe I'll scale that in a little bit. I'll hit G, or I'll click back on my extrude tool to get to the next level. And I'm going to go out to the forehead, just short of the forehead like so. And I'll scale that down. And I'm not too concerned about it because I'm going to come back in with my edge loop tool and start to define this later on. So just make sure you're kind of close to where you want it to be in the context of your model. There we go. Once again, I'll click on my extrude tool, I hit G, and this I think I'll go to where the nose starts to become more pronounced, and I'll scale that down. It might get broader and wider in the front view, but I think what I'll do is I'll scale this like so. Stay outside your model a little if you can, because what will happen is when you smooth it, the geometry has a tendency to contract. I guess we'll do a couple more extrusions for our snout here, the front of the nose. Come up to about here. Scale tool. And just kind of put it in a general position here. I'll come out to here. Scale that a little bit. Then move it down. Hit G. Now I'm going to go to the tip. And I'll scale that pretty much by reducing it quite a bit. Alright, so I'm going to Command S to save. Now, as you start to model, what you're going to want to do is that every so often you want to hit 3 on the keyboard. If you want to deselect if it seems to be a distraction. So now you can see that what this will look like once we're done with our modeling and we run the smooth on. So I'm going to go back to 1. I think you're better off staying in when you model for 2 reasons. First of all, your CPU and your computer might not handle editing in the smooth mode. And secondly, you can't really see what those vertexes are. So you're better off proceeding when you're outside, if you're going to edit outside the actual smooth proxy. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do the bottom jaw as well. Okay.